Okay, welcome to a class on Machiavelli, and he's very famous for writing The Prince. So we're going to look at some of the ideas that Machiavelli describes in this book. I think it's a really nice book to read, actually. I think it's really refreshing. He's got a bad reputation, but actually he's very much an honest man, and I think that that really comes across in this book. You know, like him or hate him, I think you would agree that he is honest. And he wrote this book to a very powerful man. I think his name was Medici. I'm not sure how you pronounce that family name, but they were very powerful in Europe at that time. And I think Machiavelli wanted him to unite Italy in some kind of way. I mean, Italy was a lot of different principalities at the time. And I think Machiavelli wanted this particular powerful man to act in an ideal way, which he describes in his book, The Prince. Now, remember that ideal for Machiavelli might not be the same as what you would think is ideal behaviour. In fact, it probably isn't. But so he starts The Prince off by talking about republics and principalities. These are the two different types of state for Machiavelli. The principalities are ruled by princes, but the republics, well, he doesn't speak about them in this book, so I'm not sure exactly how he models them in his head. But I believe that he's thinking of republics as places which don't have a prince, and so which have some other form of government. Okay, so he won't be discussing republics in this book. He explains that he's already mentioned, or he's already described republics in another book. I think it's in his discourses. And so we won't talk about them, but he talks about principalities as either being new or hereditary. In other words, there are principalities, there are places which the princes have always handed down over the generations, and they are inherited, and so they are hereditary principalities, and that's, I suppose, the case with most principalities. But there are also new ones which the prince has recently acquired, annexed, invaded. And of course, the hereditary principalities, as you might imagine, are easier to govern. Yeah, why is this? Well, for at least two different reasons that Machiavelli tells us. It's for the fact that subjects, the people in this principality, are already well disposed to the ruler. Now, he does explain that this will only be the case if the ruler has been, hasn't been unkind to his population, he hasn't been cruel to his population. Then the subjects will be well disposed to the ruler. And he does explain that this is the general trend, that people will love their ruler. The population, the common man, will love their ruler, provided that he isn't cruel to them. Yeah, and this is because they're long accustomed to the prince. They have got used to him. They have got used to his family always ruling that area. And so for that reason, the hereditary principalities are, of course, easier to govern. It's the new principalities that are more challenging. And this is because men change their rulers. If they're in a principality which doesn't have a hereditary family that's ruling over them, perhaps because of war and things like that, then these people who don't have this regular family that's ruling over them, they will often change their rulers, hoping to better themselves. Yeah. Now, he does explain that very often they don't get a better ruler, they very often get a worse ruler, in